So this is the entrance to the gallery. I'm just going to hurry on through the main hall just to show you where it all started, and that was with this cabinet, or these bookshelves painted white. As you can see, the space there is quite restricted. I do want to show you this as one of my favorites. I don't know exactly what it is, a combination of rust and some other product, oil or paint or something in this can. Absolutely nothing left of any information, and even the top is going very, very nicely. It sits next to this slightly geometric thing here, but it's still rusting and flaking in a very interesting way. I'm not going to talk about all the objects, but I do want to show you this one because I think I hoovered up here maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and already in that time pieces have fallen off. It's not under any stress, they've just fallen off, ready to be hoovered up and put into the dedicated hoover bag. So I'm going to start over here, and here's a wonderful sort of shape that's created, inviting you in to this thing here with its interesting sharp edges in comparison. It sits next to this piece, which is so important, it's absolutely seminal, that it has its own alcove, and it is a transformed something into a piece of sculpture, a piece of rust sculpture, and it invites people to perambulate around to see how it changes, and it has become something completely different, of course. It's something else that's inviting you inside this piece here from Ardnamurchan. It's in the book. It sits next to this one, which is obviously some sort of canister, but it's going quite well at the top here, and it has a lovely variation on colour when we look close. But I always invite people to touch it to feel the texture here, and this you can feel it's a rib still here. It was found on a beach on the Ross of Mull, and I got lucky because I found some rope discarded by some trawlermen and managed to make this thing into a sort of rucksack and haul it back over 2 miles of boggy Scottish moorland to get it back to the van. In the corner there is another important piece. It's in an alcove. Sometimes reminds me of a sort of Anglo-Saxon find or a part of a Viking sword. It still has its wooden shaft on, hanging there. This is another very sculptural piece, but I don't invite people to touch this one because it's very delicate. It would just fall off. It's creating quite an interesting shadow actually on its very special plinth. And it's next to a very mundane object, obviously an aerosol. Won't be surprised if lots of people who are interested in rust have something a bit like that in their collections. And this one here, not sure how this has survived this piece at the end of its shaft here. It sort of sometimes reminds me of a deep sea fish, a very odd shape. This is the slideshow. It's on mute at the moment with lots more photographs than in the book, and people can sit there and watch, have a happy 10 minutes watching those slides. And nearly at the end of the tour, there are some actual pieces for sale, which the trustees hope will keep the gallery going. There's also prints that are available from the book. They're much larger format, and they are of course signed by the senior curator. Now behind the door, before I forget, is the actual Hoover bag, and this is the one I change to when I'm specifically hoovering up those small pieces of rust that the objects are shedding. Now, people will have come in from the right, but I'm hoping they will exit on the left, because that is exiting via the gift shop. And this is it. It's actually my studio. And here are some of the objects. I think I've just crashed into some of the other pieces that are, of course, not on exhibition. Perhaps they're awaiting or whatever. And here are some of the framed pieces, which will be for sale, and celebrating the colour and the shape of rust. Some people might like to buy them and take the glass off so that you can indeed feel the rust. Sometimes these are very expensive to frame, so I've just put up these here speculatively if people are interested. And so that is the end of the tour, and it's back to Jazz or Michael.